I'm delighted to invite you and to have invited you and to introduce to you this gentleman that I've only spoken with on the phone, but I know about his work, and I'm delighted that Mr. Slavin and Ms. Reese from Second Chance thought it not robbery for us to have someone of his caliber to come not only talk to our class, but also to talk to the men of Hudson. I'm doing a twofer here, in that the class is getting a presentation, but Hudson, I'm also introducing someone to us who will be probably coming back to do some work with our ministry to men. He don't know it yet. Y'all know how your pastor works. He don't know it yet. He's hearing all of this for the first time, right? But you know I'm doing this, right? So ministry to men will have Mr. Osbourne coming back. So I'm going to, I believe he's of age and he can speak for himself. And so please let us welcome Mr. Kent Osbourne, who's going to talk to us about from prison to power. Come on, Mr.
All right. All right, so today the theme is, if I can do it, you can do it. 100 people know that. If I can do it, you can do it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right, God didn't put nothing special inside of me. He didn't make me no special kind of way that he didn't make y'all. We all made the same. So the theme is, if I can do it, you can do it. All right, so today I want to talk to you about 3 things. One is, what's your wake-up call, right? Something didn't happen in our life. I know something happened in y'all life, something happened in my life before, that made me think and wake up, right? And be like, man, I got to change. I got to do something different. I don't care if it was something happened in your life to where somebody was murdered, or you hit rock bottom, or been to prison, like me, but something happened. So what's your wake-up call? You would know that, right? And number 2 is, it's never too late. And basically what never too late is after you have made the mistakes in life, you still can bounce back, right? With God, all things are possible. How many people know that?
Amen.
So it's never too late. No matter what you have been through, no matter what you have done in your life, it's never too late to change. And number 3 is, it's no excuses, right? There's no excuse for you not to be living up to your fullest potential. I don't care what happened in your life, you still can become successful. So there's no excuse. Like, people make up so many excuses why they can't achieve things in life. I could have made up plenty of excuses, but I didn't. I kept going forward. And as you see, my shirt say no excuses. I'm big on that, no excuses. Because you can accomplish anything that you want. Your mental prison starts in your mind. It is in your mental prison that leads you to that physical prison. If I can free you out your mental prison, I can allow you to have power over every aspect of your life. Mentally, financially, and relationally. You have power, human being. You have the power to rise up from where you are in your life at any moment to becoming great. I don't care what anybody told you, that you weren't going to be nothing and that you weren't going to make it in life because of all the bad choices you made. A lot of the bad choices you made was because you didn't know. I'm here to tell you, it's not over. Your life has just begun. This is a new day. So if you want to rise up from the ashes and prove everybody wrong that went against you, now is the time. Rise up and let's go from prison to power. There was this pastor, right? And the pastor, he was sitting at home trying to come up with a sermon for the day. And his little son was sitting there bored. So he figured he wanted to get his son something to do. His wife, she was out shopping. So he seen an old magazine laying on the table. So he picked the magazine up and went through it. On the front of the magazine was a big, bright picture of the world. So what he did, he took the magazine and ripped it out and ripped it up in little pieces. And he threw it all over the floor. And he told his son, he said, son, if you can put this magazine back together again, I'll give you a quarter. He thought it was going to take his son all day long. He closed the door. A few minutes later, his son came back to the door, knocking on the door. He said, come in. Son came in. He said, Dad, I got the puzzle back together again. The dad looked. He was like, son, how did you get that puzzle back together again so quickly? The son say, oh, he said it was easy, Dad. He said on the front, there was a picture of a man. He said, so what I did, I got a piece of paper and I put it at the bottom. He said that I put the man together. He said that I got another piece of paper and I put it at the top after I put the man together. He said then I flipped it over. He said once I flipped it over, I figured that if I get the man right, the world will be right. And listen, that's the point of this message today. If a man is right, his world will be right. So it starts with you. You got to get yourself together. You got to change. Everything that happened in your life wasn't nobody's fault but yours. So recognizing that you have to change and it's all your fault, you got to start making the necessary changes to get your life back together again. If you want your world to change, you got to change. It starts with you. It starts with self. Because guess what? If you don't change, it isn't going to change. Everything going to stay the same. We're going to be like it is. We're going to keep moving. If you was failing, you're going to keep failing. It don't stop until you change. You have to make that change. My name is Ken Osbourne. I'm the owner of KO Trucking LLC, Generation Changers International, and I'm also a misguided youth motivational speaker, and I'm also an author of a #1 Amazon best-selling book, From Prison to Power. I'm a recording artist. I'm a Christian rapper, several CDs, go to my website, online. But my days ain't always been so bright. I had my dog days. I lost my mom when I was 9 years old. I lost my dad when I was 5. But when my mom was alive, my mom used to tell me that I was special and that I can become anything in life that I wanted. She said, you see your daddy? She said, you're a fruit contractor. See, my daddy was a fruit contractor. He had his own business before he passed away. She said, you see your daddy? She said, he's a fruit contractor. And plus, he was from Jamaica, right? So he came from Jamaica to America, the best country on the earth. America, where anybody can come and come up. Everybody trying to get to America so they can come up. Amen. Ain't nobody trying to break into Mexico so they can come up. They're trying to get to America. Right. So you in the best country in the world to come up. Anybody can come up here, right? Obama was the president, so there's no excuse, right? Anybody can come up here. So we're in the best country in the world, right here in America. So my mama told me that. She said, son, if your dad can do it, she said, you can do it. She said, you can do it. She said, if he came from Jamaica and started his own business, she said, you can be great. She told me to finish school. She said, do what you got to do. You can be great. I want you to follow in your dad's footsteps. This is what my mom told me before she passed away. When my mom passed away, I had to go live with my aunt until I was 14 years old. Me and my aunt, we couldn't get along. My aunt was very strict, and she didn't treat me like my mom treated me. And she told me she couldn't show me that same love and affection because she wasn't my mom. So we had some tension though. I ended up running away from my auntie's house at 14 years old. And I ran to my cousin Janice's house. Now my cousin Janice, she had a brother that was living there with her. Right? And her brother was a big time drug dealer. You already know how that's going to turn out. So as a kid, I was kind of already taken away from the rings and the jewelry, the money, the cars, and everything that he had. And her daughter, which is like my sister right now, she got 8 kids right now, so she was already on her way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at this situation like, man, this is a lot of freedom, right? So I ran away to Janice's house. I shouldn't have never ran away from my aunt's house. Because the part of my hope to escape by running away was to place my even bigger problems on the streets. I didn't have no rules or no guidance. And you need rules and guidance if you planning on making it in this world.
Amen.
And I had none of that. So I ran away to my cousin Janet's house, and I started hanging out with the wrong crowd. The people you hang around plays a major important part of your life. This goes for kids and adults. If you hang out with losers, you're going to become a loser. If you hang out with winners, you're going to become a winner. So I started hanging out with all these losers. So I guess you know how my life turned out. I started robbing. I started stealing. I started snatching purses. I started snorting powder. I started breaking in houses. All this crazy stuff. I found myself in the county jail at 16 years old for aggravated assault on a police officer. Right? First they had me in the detention center, then they judicated me as an adult. What had happened was a group of friends and me, we was walking through a neighborhood, and I had the gun on me. So we walking. I pulls out the gun because I want to feel the kick on the gun. I start shooting the gun in the air. Blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, somebody called the police because they heard gunshots, of course. When we came out the other side onto the college campus, the police was already there waiting for us. They told us to line up. They had us in a line. They said they wanted to search everybody. Somebody had called for gunshots. So they started searching everybody. Right? So I was maybe like the third person in line. So I told myself, when they get to me, I'm going to take off running. So they started searching everybody. He got ready to come to me. He was getting ready to say, put your hands in the air. As soon as he said, put, I took off running. Now I'm running. He running behind me. So I goes through the college, and it was some woods up ahead. So I knew if I can get around this corner, I can take out the gun and throw it away and get rid of it. So if he do catch me, I ain't got no gun. I ain't get no gun charge. So that's what I did. I ran and threw the gun and kept running. By the time I came out the other side, the police was over there. I was already tired. So they had me surrounded. I got down on my knees. They put me, handcuffed, put me in the car, the back of the car. They went out, started searching the area. It took about an hour. They came back. He said he charged me with aggravated assault. Somebody I aimed the gun at him. I'm not finna aim no gun at no police. I already know you're gonna get shot. So I'm not finna do that. But he said I did it. I ended up sitting in the county jail for 6 months and ended up beating the case with a public pretender.
A public
Pretender. Yeah, they got my son. They got my son in prison right now for 25 years and her nephew 15 years. They both co-defended for armed robbery. Took a backpack.
Your son?
My girl, my fiance son. Yeah, that she'll tell that. If she was there, she'll tell that story. She usually come with me. But yeah, so I ended up beating the case, got back out, started hanging around the same knuckleheads. And we already know the people, like I said, the people you hang around. Right? I got right back out with them same people, so you already know what was gonna happen. Started doing the same things. Robbing, stealing, snatching purses, powder, selling drugs, messing with women, stealing cars, breaking in houses, everything you can name. You're trying to survive. No discipline, no control. Just me, kid out there in this world trying to do what I got to do to survive. Made all kinds of mistakes. Found myself in prison for the first time in my life at 19 years old. When I was in prison, the police talked to me this kind of way. They spit in my face. They told me when to eat, when to take a shower, and when to go to bed. They treated me like an animal. People was getting raped in prison, and people was getting murdered. And the food,
Great.
food was disgusting. Made me want to throw up. But I had no choice but to eat it if I wanted to survive. All the homies that was down with me when I was out, I ain't even hear from them anymore. You didn't invite me, come visit me or send me a dime. So your homeboys and your homegirls, they forget about you when you're locked up. So the past time, I used to go out on the rec yard in the mornings for cleanup. And my thing used to be to go out and work out. Stay on that iron. See, I stayed to myself and I was like, hey, I'm finna get on this iron. Anybody mess with me? You already know, you already see me out here working out, so just leave me alone. So I stayed to myself, did my thing, and I built a passion for rap music. So we used to all go round the benches and everybody would crowd around the bitches, and I'd be in the middle with one of my homeboys, and I'd start rapping. But the music I was making, it was promoting violence, sex, drugs, and guns. So everybody that was crowded around, they liked that kind of stuff. They said, "Kid, when you get out, don't let it go. Don't let it go." So it went a little bit like this. Every day I hustle hard just to reach the stars. My candy-coated Buick bring pain to these other cars. Rolling down these messed up streets where I put time in. To escape them Federates, you can say it's perfect time in. My life was based on numbers, selling dope and smoking weed. Didn't give up. So what? I got 2 mouths to feed. So it went kind of like that. So they're like, "KO, when you get out, don't let it go, don't let it go." Because they was into that kind of stuff. So I told them, I said, "Bro, when I get out, I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing it." So you already know how that was going to turn out. I'm making that kind of music. I'm rapping about that right there. So you already know when I get out what time it is. So after that, I went to work release after doing, they gave me 25 months that time. So I did 20 in prison, and I had to do the other 5 months in work release. So now I'm in work release. Work release just like prison a little bit. You got the same officers. Only difference, they let you go to work. Got to come back to the center. They'll let you go to church on Sundays. Got to come back to the center. They might let your family check you out on the weekends. Always got to come back to the center. So it was the same thing. I worked out, went to work, came back. Used to talk on the phone to my girlfriend a lot. So I had a cousin. He went to my girlfriend's house. Now this same cousin, before I went in, right, he was kind of living in poverty. Poor. He got on the phone when I called him. He said, "Cuz," he said, "Listen, bro." He said, "Cuz, I done came up." He said, "I'm gonna put you on." He said, "When you get out, I'm gonna put you on. You just need to get out." So here I am, walking around the compound, chest stuck out, beating on my chest, telling all my homeboy, "Y'all need to come holler at me when you get out. Come holler at me, I'm gonna put y'all on. I'm gonna be on strong." You see, here I was, happy about getting out, hooking up with the same kind of people that had me the trouble I was already in. I was happy about getting out, hooking up with somebody that didn't want anything out of life. I was still trapped inside of a mental prison. And see, it's a lot of y'all still trapped inside of a mental prison. You still hooking up with people that want to do drugs and rob and steal. So you got to change your mindset. It's the people that you hang around that makes a difference in your life. So like my cousin said, I ended up getting out. And just like he said, he put me on. We was buying keys, moving bricks. My cousin would be like, "Man, I made $10,000 a day." I said, "I made $11,000 a day." Next day, I made $12,000 a day. I said, "I made $13,000 a day." We was making so much money, we was competing on how much money we was making. It's like we were living the American dream, like we was on top of the world. Around that time, I started taking my money and invested it into music, just like I told them guys I was going to do when I was locked up. So I started getting in the studio making CDs. I started making music videos. I started opening up for Lil Wayne, Juvenile. I started doing songs with Pastor Troy, songs with Philmar. And I started traveling all over the Southeast selling my music out my trunk. Around that time, my cousin, his pregnant baby mama, and me, and my girlfriend, we all lived together. So now, my cousin was selling drugs at the house. And one of the rules of the game was you never sell drugs where you lay your head at. And you never show people too much.
That's right.
And my cousin was doing all that. He would have money all over the place. They walk in, they might see $15,000. They walk in, they might see a key here, a half a brick there. So they coming in and seeing everything. So my girlfriend, she hadn't got nervous. Because her boyfriend was in the Fed, so she knew about the game. She was like, "Baby, listen." She said, "I'm scared for my life." She said, "I'm scared for you. I'm scared for your cousin, pregnant Barbara. She be here by herself and he be out in the street." She said, "I'm scared." She said, "Let's move to Atlanta and see if we can start a new life." So I was like, "I don't know about that." I said, "Here I am, got all these strikes against me, and you want me to just up and leave and go to Atlanta and do what? Ain't nobody gonna give me no job." So I told her, I said, "I don't know about that." So she kept talking to me. And as she kept talking to me, I started to think about things. And I was like, you know what, she is right. My cousin is doing all the wrong things. I was kind of scared myself, because I already knew about the game. I don't know what's wrong with him. So I was already nervous too. So what she was saying kind of made sense to me. So I said, okay, let's go. So we picked a date to ride to Atlanta. Right? And we left our stuff that we was gonna come back. We picked a day to ride to Atlanta. So now we're in Atlanta, and a couple days later, I get a phone call. Bing! Hello? It's Ken Osbourne now. Yeah, this is Ken Osbourne. We need you back in Florida. There's been a homicide at your residence. We need you for questioning. There's been someone shot. One on fight for their life, and two is deceased. I hang the phone up, punch a hole in the wall. Boom, hand go through the wall. My girl wakes up, baby, what's wrong? I said, man, we need to get back. I said, somebody done broke in our house and shot my cousin. We need to get back to Florida. She jumps up, she put her clothes on. We takes off on the road. And see, what hadn't happened was, some guys broke into our house. They grabbed my cousin and his pregnant baby mama that was 6 months years old. 6 months. Had them on their knees, like this, execution style. One right there and one right there. And they standing over with pistols. So now, if my cousin on his knees and his girlfriend right here, they standing over with the pistol asking them, where's the drugs? So my cousin telling them, man, I ain't got anything, I ain't got no drugs. Well, where the money at? I ain't got no money, man, I'm telling you, I ain't got nothing. He crying, his girlfriend crying, they balling out of control, just crying. So as they begin to ask him and he tell them he ain't got nothing, they begin to shoot his girlfriend. Blah, blah, shot her 14 times. Last shot in the head. Bah! So now she falls over. And she drooling out the mouth, blood coming out of her mouth, and she drooling, eye rolling back, and she's shaking, he got in his hand, and he telling her, baby, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. Knowing it's not gonna be okay. She just got shot 14 times and one in the head. It's not gonna be okay. So he's telling her it's gonna be okay. She's drooling and she's shaking, eye rolling back. So as soon as he looked up to ask them, why did y'all do this? As soon as he said, why did y'all, blah, blah, they shot him twice in the face, one right there, one right there. They ran out the house. By the grace of God, after 30 minutes, my cousin got up off the floor, shot in the head twice. He gets up, makes his way out the closet, stumbles onto the bed. And then while he on the bed, he said, he told me the story, that's how I know the story. He said he know he was shot, but he didn't know where he was shot at.
Wow.
He said when he got up and he seen the blood all over the bed, he said he knew he was shot in the head. So he said he got up and he made his way to the hall, and he went all the way down the hall, and you can see the blood strips all the way down the hall, and made his way to his room, and he called the police, and that's when he blacked out. And see, when I tell this talk to kids, to the youth, I talk to the youth a lot. And a lot of this stuff applies to adults too. And I tell the females, like they get with these drug dealers because they want the money. They want the prestige. They want to look good, jewelry and all this. But just like them drug dealers' life in danger, they life in danger. Because if somebody come in that house to rob and kill and hurt them drug dealers, they're going to kill them too. So if you got nieces, daughters, whatever in that game, tell them it ain't even worth it. It ain't even worth it. Leave the drug dealers alone. Get your education. Education is the key. So by the time me and my girl had got back, a couple of my family members, they hadn't got together. They already knew who had did it because of some things that happened earlier, a couple months earlier. So because they couldn't find the boys, guess where they went? To his mama's house. Went to his mama's house. They went and shot the boy's mom and dad's house up. Thinking somebody was in there. But once again, by the grace of God, nobody went in there. Thank you, Jesus. They shot the house up. Nobody went in there. So that's why I tell these young boys, like I said, it applies to men too. When you go out and do something stupid, what you do don't only affect you. It affects your loved ones. Because you go out and do something stupid, and they can't find you, they come to kill your family. They come to kill your mama. They come to kill your daddy. They come to kill your sister, your brother, whatever you got, your child. Whatever you got, they coming to get it. So what you do don't only affect you, it affect your loved ones. That's why you got to make sure Make sure you're not doing nothing stupid, man, nothing crazy like that. So we get back. Looking for the boys, we couldn't find them. The police was looking for them. They end up turning themselves in 30, after like 30 days. Because they already know, we already like, shoot. The police had them armed and dangerous. Ain't armed and dangerous. Shoot on sight. We had them shoot on sight too. So it was good that they turned themselves in. So me and my girl got back. And I jumped back into the game. You would think after all this, in and out of jail, been to prison, then my cousin and his pregnant baby mama get shot execution style, that I knew God was giving me a wake-up call. Like, KO, my son, you got to chill. You would have thought I would have known better after God gave me this wake-up call, right?
Yeah.
I didn't answer that wake-up call. I went back to the streets. What wake-up call do you have in your life right now that you're not answering? Something happened in your life too. That was your wake-up call. And you didn't answer it. So you're going to end up dead, or in jail, prison, like my cousin, his pregnant baby mama, and me. My mom was so gone, I couldn't even hit a wake-up call. What wake-up call do you have in your life that you're not answering? I give you 30 seconds. Write it down. What's your wake-up call? Just think about it. Everybody not going to be as blessed as I am.
That's right.
I should have been dead or locked up for the rest of my life. But I'm out. Christ is my wake-up call.
All right.
What's your wake-up call?
My mind.
I ain't tripping. Buddhist, Muslim, Milwaukee. It don't matter to me. I'm saying somebody calling me. What's your wake-up call? So the next thing I want to talk about is it's never too late. Right? So we covered what's your wake-up call. Everybody got a wake-up call. So you just got to figure out what's your wake-up call. What made you change? What made you be here today? What was in your mind? What do you want to do in life? What do you want to accomplish? What happened in your life to make you make that change? Second lesson. It's never too late. I got back into the streets and found myself in and out of jail after that again. I found myself in prison for the second time in my life in 2007. Now when I was in prison, this time in 2007, I met this guy that was in prison. And this guy looked just like I did. At the time I had 16 gold teeth in my mouth. I had 8 at the top, 8 at the bottom. And I got most of them out. I'm working on the next one. So if y'all know any good Danish, y'all let me know. The guy looked just like I did. He had 8 to the top, 8 to the bottom. But how many people know that it's not what's on the outside, it's about what's in the inside? So the guy was in there, he said, Ken, listen. After I was telling him everything I had to went through and how I was performing with these artists, but I'm still here in jail because I was still trying to sell dope at the same time and trying to do right and wrong at the same time. How many people that know that don't mix?
Don't work out.
So I got somebody that I know that was telling me about her brother-in-law that he's doing good. She was like, well, he got a job. She said he got a job. She said, but he sell dope. He got a job, but he sell dope. So she figured that he's doing pretty good. He's doing good for himself. I said, so he doing good. I said, so okay, so if he got a job and he's selling dope, I said, which one do you think is going to outdo the other one, the job or the dope? I said, if you came to somebody and said, okay, he sell dope, but he got a job, what you think that person going to think about that person? They going to think, oh, he's doing good, he's a good person? Or they going to be like, he's a drug dealer?
You're a drug dealer.
The drug dealer going to take over the job.
Yeah.
If he get busted and go to jail, he going to lose that job.
That's right.
Right.
Right? So, the guy told me, he said, Ken, listen. He said, bro, if you want to be successful, he said, you need to give your life to God.
That's right.
He said, I'm telling you, bro, if you give your life to God, anything that you want out of life, he said, it'll happen for you. And see, basically what this guy was telling me was Matthew 6:33.
Go ahead.
Seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness. Don't forget the righteousness.
That's right.
And all things shall be added unto you.
Yeah.
This is what this guy was telling me. Kent, you want to be successful, you give your life to God.
There you go.
And you will be successful. So it always takes me back to that scripture.
Mm.
See, because when I was out, I was leaning on my own understanding.
All right.
And Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not into thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. So I kept busting my head up against a brick wall.
My.
So I finally said, listen,
Yeah.
I knew about God because my mama kept me in church. So what that guy was saying, I knew about that. I knew what he was talking about. My auntie kept me in church. I just strayed away. They had church like 6-7 times a week. Every day almost in prison. So you can go. I started going to church with this guy. So I would go, and the more and more I started going, I started building this personal relationship with Jesus Christ. So I would sit and I would still write that negative music that was promoting violence, sex, drugs, and guns. And then on this side, I would write music geared towards God.
Yeah.
So the more and more that I started going and kept going, I started building more of a relationship with Christ. And see, when you got a relationship with Christ, it's like having a relationship with a woman or a man. You want to do everything you can to please that person, to make that person happy. You don't want to hurt that person. So as I was writing this negative music, I started thinking about Jesus, and I knew I didn't want to hurt him.
Yeah.
So I started writing all that negative music because I didn't want to hurt him. I just started writing music geared towards God.
Yeah.
Some prophets came. I started rapping in front of the prophets. When they had me on stage one day when they was there, they said, Ken, we see that you're going to be traveling all over the world, reaching kids through your music. So that made me want to go even harder and even more. I ended up going to work release because I was sentenced to 20 months this time, and I did 16, and I did 8 in prison, and I was able to do the rest of the months in work release. So when I went to work release, the Pastor McClure, God bless the dead, he allowed me to get on stage and share my testimony and perform my music. So when I used to get up there and perform and I would share my testimony, you had everybody there. Everybody loved my music. They were like, Kent, they said, we don't even listen to rap music. They said, but your music, we can understand it. They say, your testimony is powerful. So it made me want to keep going. I gave my life to Christ in prison. So I'm here to tell you that no matter what you done been through, God can still use you.
Yeah.
It's not over.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not over. So it's never too late.
Right.
Since then, I got my own trucking company. Since then, I got my own book. I'm an Amazon #1 best-selling author. Since then,
Well.
I'm a misguided motivational speaker. Since then,
Yeah.
I'm a Christian rap artist.
Yeah.
So I'm here to tell you that no matter what you've been through, God can still use you. You still can be successful. There's no excuse for you not to be living up to your fullest potential.
Right.
So you can do it. So if I did it in prison, you can do it.
Yeah.
So that was lesson 2. That it's never too late. So from that, we all understand that it's never too late, right? No matter what you've been through, you still can become successful. Because I did it. And if I can do it, you can do it. There's nothing special about me. God put everything inside you that he put in me. Everything in me, he put in you. The next lesson that I'm going to cover is no excuses. So when I got out of prison, I had a job from work release. So I kept working that job for like 2 years. It was a back-breaking job. It was at Liberty Tire Recycling in Florida. And basically what it was, we used to take tire molds from big trucks and put it in this machine and it chops them up and goes through a recycling thing and make mulch that you put on the playground for kids. I was only getting paid $350 a week. So I'm like, man, this is a back-breaking job, and I'm getting paid this little bit. But I was giving it all I got. Whenever I worked, I gave it all I got because I believe what the Bible says. God said, when you work it said, work unto men like you working for God. So that means give it 120% at whatever you do. Because the thing about it is, if you give it 120%, When it's time to lay somebody off, you're gonna be the first one they're gonna be like, we gotta keep him. But if you give it 60 or 70%, like you don't even want to be there, the first person gonna get laid off is that person that don't act like they don't want to be there, that's giving it 60 or 70%.
Preach, brother.
So I gave it 100% at everything I did. After a while, I was like, man, I got to find me another job. So a guy came and told me about some newspapers, throwing newspapers. So what I did, which was real stupid, I quit that job. We had benefits. It was a solid job, getting paid every week. I knew I had a check every week. Went to newspapers, started throwing newspapers out my car, which ended up being less money, and my car ended up breaking down on me, blowing the motor. Because you got to stack all these newspapers in the back of your car and ride through neighborhoods throwing it out and driving your car real fast, throwing it out, trying to make a time. And you weren't really making too much money, so I blew the engine in my Lexus that my little brother had and gave me when I got out. So then, somebody came along and told me about multi-level marketing, right, which they called pyramids back then. So they were telling me, you work your way to the top, you'll make all this money, you'll get Lexus and all kind of things. So I hadn't got happy and I got into multi-level marketing. I ain't making not nail sales. So now here I am living with my auntie, I'm broke. Living with my auntie, living with whichever family member would let me stay there until I get on my feet. And it's good to have family too, because it's good to have family believe that, and especially in hard times, so you can get on your feet. That don't mean stay there now. That's just so you can get on your feet. See what I'm saying? So I had family members that let me stay at their house till I got on my feet. So what happened was I had a cousin, and he was a truck driver, and I tried to sell him some cable from the multi-level marketing. My cousin didn't want to buy it. He said, "Cuz, you need to get a real job." He didn't buy my product. I was devastated. I was hurt. I'm like, man, this is my family. He don't even want to support me. He don't even want to buy me. He tell me I need to get a real job. He started telling me about trucking. I said, you know what? He told me how I can make money. And see, my goal was in prison was, you know, like I was telling y'all, the guy said if I want to be successful, I need to give my life to God.
Right.
So I always wanted to rap. That was my thing, rapping. So he was telling me if I give my life to God, that God will help me become, help me make it in music and rapping. As long as I'm rapping for God. You see what I'm saying? So I always had that vision in prison that I wanted to be a rapper. But I knew that it took money to do it, right? To start a label, to make CDs, to get in the studio, to promote it, beats, everything costs money. And it ain't no little money. It costs money. And see, I was doing it the wrong way when I was out. I was selling drugs to do all that. But now that I'm living for God and I'm trying to be an honest person, I had to figure out a different kind of way. So I need to have a job that was making the kind of money I needed to do that. So now when my cousin told me about the trucking business, that I can make all the money, so now I'm looking like, dang, y'all can get in. He telling me how much they making $1,000 to $1,500 a week. I'm like, man, y'all can take some of this money, man, and get in the studio, make my album, and you know, pay for me a promoter and pay for, you know, the flyers to put my stuff out, posters. I'm just thinking about everything I can do with my music with this trucking job. So he told me what to do. I got online, started filling out applications. Little did I know how hard it was going to be as a convicted felon. That was the challenge. And see, this where a lot of people break down at. Because I filled out over 100 and something applications. I just kept filling out applications. Right? But before I started filling out these applications, I had to get my CDLs. Right? I had to get my restricts. So what I did was, at the time, Obama was giving away grant money. So I went and got my restrictions. Like I got the book and I read the book and you know, completed all the questions and I got my CDL restrictions. But I needed the CDLs. Yeah. CDLs would cost me. So I was like, man, I ain't got no $5,000. That's what they wanted for them to go to the school.
Go to school.
Yep, go to school. Like, man, I ain't got no $5,000. So I went down to the job link. We got like a job link, a career kind of center thing where they help you out. And I told him, I said, listen, I said, I'm trying to get my CDLs. I said, I don't have no money, but I said, I got my restrictions. Right? right here, but I ain't got no money to get the CDLs. So the lady looked, and she seen that I had the restrictions, right? So when she seen that, she started to help me out. Cause this how she looked at it. She was like, man, he trying. He the one that got his restricts. He trying. She said, so since he trying, he done went that far, he trying, I'm gonna go to bat for him. I'm gonna help him out. So it took a couple weeks. She had me going to these classes and all kind of stuff like that. After a couple weeks, the grant ended up coming back for $5,500. And I was able to go to trucking school. In trucking school, they told me, they said, Kent, they said, because you got a background in felonies on your record, they said trucking companies, it's going to be hard for trucking companies to hire you because they don't hire convicted felons. They said some might say 5, some years, some might say 10, said some might say indefinite. They said, but we can take you to, we can help you to get your CDL, that's what the school was telling me, but they said we can't find you a job. Because this the thing. If you go to that school, they'll get you your CDLs and they will find a job for you. Right. They do the work, they do everything, but you can't have no felonies. Right? So they told me, they said, we can get you the CDLs. They said, but we can't find you a job. You got to find a job on your own. So I said, okay, I was saying, well, just let me get my CDLs. I'll find my own job. Just let me get my CDLs. Went through the school, ended up getting my CDLs. Little did I know how hard it was going to be with as a convicted felon, like I said. I started filling out all these applications online and sending them in. Everybody was turning me down. I filled out over 100 and something applications. Everybody turned me down. Some were saying your felony got to be 5 years old. Mm-hmm. Some were saying 10 years. Mm-hmm. And some were saying indefinitely. They don't hire convicted felons. You can imagine how discouraging that was. But this is the thing, I faced all kind of adversity and opposition. And see, when adversity and opposition come along, a lot of people just give up and quit. Right. They don't believe, they just stop and just give up and just accept how it is. But I didn't quit, I didn't give up. I kept trusting and I kept believing in God. And you got to trust and believe in God. Yeah. That no matter what happened, man, you're going to be straight because you got God on your side. That's right. And I always believe that. I always believe that no matter, because I had a background, as long as I got God, man, anything is possible.
All right.
So I kept filling out the applications and kept sending them in. I didn't let them defeat me. I said, y'all not finna stop me. Y'all not finna defeat me. Y'all not going to determine how my life going to turn out. Y'all not going to send me back to prison like that. I'm not going to go back to doing what I was doing. Because a lot of times, people get in that situation, and if they can't find a job, they go back to doing what they was doing before to make money. And end up just giving up. Letting the system defeat them. But I didn't give up. I kept filling out applications. After a while, I got a job offer from this company in Atlanta. I was still living in Florida at the time. Got a job offer from this company in Atlanta. Well, I had just failed the driving test for one of the for one of the companies. They wanted me to come in and take a driving test. I had failed it because it was almost a year and a half had went by me trying to get jobs and I couldn't get it. And I had to work on temp services. See, that's another thing. That year and a half, I was filling out applications and nobody didn't want to hire me. I still had to work, right? Mm-hmm. I still had to get money. So what I had to do was, I had to go to temp services, right? And get jobs at temp services, making $200, $250 a week, while I was still staying with my auntie, giving her $50, right? So this is the thing. See, when I was young, when I was 14 years old, my uncle used to work on the back of the garbage truck. He used to drive the garbage truck, actually. And when he used to come in, my uncle used to be so stank, man, smelling like trash. And I told myself when I was a kid, I'd never work on the back of no stinking garbage truck.
Don't say that.
I told myself that. You're right. I told myself that. But guess what?
You ended up on the back of the garbage.
Ended up on the back of the garbage. I had to do what I had to do.
That's right.
And that's what I'm going to tell you. You got to do what you got to do.
That's right.
I don't care if it's working at Burger King.
That's
I don't care if it's working at McDonald's. I don't care what job it is. You got to take what you got to take for right now.
Right.
To get to where you need to get to.
That's right.
That's not where you're gonna stay at. It's just a stepping stone to get to the point. Right? So I had to take something and keep started filling the applications. I got CDLs right here, okay, but I got to work on the back of the garbage truck right now because I still got to support myself. But that don't mean I'm going to stop filling the applications. And I kept filling out applications while I was on the back of the garbage truck. Next thing you know, I got a call from Atlanta. They told me to come up and drive the truck. They said if I can back the truck in, I can get the job. See, but before that, I had just went to another company. I want to tell you, I went to another company, and that company told me to do a road test. I ended up failing the road test. I wasn't getting the training on the road. You really need that training on the road. You need to go out with somebody. That's the real training. Get on that road and hit a couple states.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So I never got that. So now when he tell me to do the road test, I failed the road test because I couldn't back the trailer in. He would tell me to back it up, but I couldn't back it in. So I'm broke, so I had to borrow some money from my cousin. I told my cousin, she was a nurse. I said, listen, let me borrow $100. I need to go to this school, and I just need the school to just show me how to back up a trailer. That's all I needed, because I had already paid $5,000 to go to school a year and a half ago. I said, I just need to learn how to back the trailer up. So the company told me just give them $100 and they'll teach me how to back the trailer up. My cousin let me borrow $100, paid them. They showed me how to back the trailer up. So bam, I was good. But you see, I never gave up.
Yeah.
I wanted you, man. You got to want it as bad as you want to breathe, like my boy E.T. say. You got to want it bad, man. Some people just kind of want it. You got to want it bad, and I wanted it bad for myself. So I did that. That company ended up calling me in Atlanta, told me to take the truck around. If I could back it up, I got the job. Ended up doing that. Got the job. They had some raggedy trucks. One light might work, the next light might not work.
Look out now.
Light might not work.
Look out now.
That sounds like APT.
Sit down, man.
Yeah, so the trucks was raggedy, man. The trucks was raggedy. Got on there, got me some experience. That's what it was all about. Got me some experience. They paid a little good money. So I wasn't gonna stop there. I said, man, I got to get with a better company. Like, this my door in, this my foot in there.
Yeah.
Right? So as I would go to the truck stops, and I'm seeing people coming by with these nice Peterbilts and Freightliners, and everything like that, nice companies. So I'm asking them questions. Hey man, they how you fellas? Oh well. Yeah. So I'm saying no, and the one was like, yeah, you just got to be real with them, be straight up with them, man, and they'll bring you on. I got some on my record. So, nice truck, brand new truck. He gave me the phone number. I called them. They were like, shoot, they gave me a ticket. They flew me from Atlanta, flew me up to Minnesota.
That's right.
I got up there, just like he told him. I was real with him. I told him I made a lot of mistakes when I was young, stupid mistakes. You know, now I'm a man of God. I've changed my life. You know, and I'm ready to work. I'm ready to do something positive. I'm ready to work. They put me to work. Stayed with them for a little bit. Ended up doing a lease purchase program through them. Started saving my money up. And as I started saving my money up, because I had a plan. Still my plan was to make it in the music business too. Now that's always the plan in the back of my head. So I said, okay, now I got a trucking job. I'm making the money to invest into my music. Now I'm making music videos. Now I'm back in the studio, still driving the truck. You know what I'm saying? But then it started getting to the point where I can't go to the interviews and do these shows because I'm always on the road. When you driving, you're on the road 2 or 3 weeks at a time. They want you to stay out 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? Go home for the weekend, you got to go back out. So I ain't really having the time to do nothing. So I'm like, man, I got to try to figure this out. So I met this guy, which is like me and him buddies right now to the day, my mentor. He had his own trucking company. And I used to see him all the time hanging out with his kids. He had his kids' basketball games. He had his kids' football games. But he a truck driver. I'm like, how in the world he getting all this time and he a truck driver? That's what he told me. He said, man, listen, you got to get your own authority. Get your own authority. Start your own business. He said, man, you can do whatever you want. He said, you have engagements, what you got to do. You just book your load to that engagement, get your rental car, go to it, and take the rental car back, book your another load.
All right.
That's right.
So he was sharing all this with me. And so when all the information that he was giving me, I was taking all this information in. And see, it's what matters, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. I can give you all the information in the world, but if you don't apply that information to your life, ain't nothing gonna happen, it ain't gonna change.
That's right.
So everything he was telling me, I was applying that information. That's why my life changed. That's what I'm doing now, because I applied everything that he was telling me. Information is good, we need information. So I ended up starting my own trucking company, and you know, I started my own trucking company. I ended up doing more of my music, traveling, got into speaking, started writing books, you know, having the money from the trucking business, because the trucking business pay good money. When you got your own company, you can bring in $5 grand or better every week. This weekly, when you got your own trucking company. You're gonna have to stay out there now. You gotta do some work. Hey,
Gotta work
that's
time.
right. If the wheels ain't turning, ain't no money being
Make
made.
no money.
Right. So if you lazy, you're not gonna make that $5 grand. So if you can make 6 figures a year in trucking, right? 6 figures a year. But to make that 6 figures a year,
You got to get it.
you got to get it. The wheels got to be turning. You can't be sitting at home thinking you're gonna make 6 figures. You might work for a company if you're gonna sit home.
Yeah.
So I started doing all that. So that lesson right there, started my own trucking company, got my own books, everything came from that. So in that lesson, that's what I want to tell y'all. There's no excuse.
No,
No excuse. You have no excuse, because after everything I done shared with you guys that I done been through, right, and I still was able to accomplish everything that I've accomplished, you can do the same thing.
that's right.
You ain't got no excuse. And I just want to just share with y'all right quick how, right? So we discussed what's your wake up call. We discussed number 2, late, and number 3 we discussed was no excuses. So how do you become successful? Right? How to become successful? Number 1 is become an asset to your job.
Yeah.
That's it. An asset to the job. What is an asset? A useful, a valuable thing. Person, or quality. Right? So your greatest asset is yourself. You are the greatest asset, and you will always be able to make more money while other assets may perish. So go down in value. All right, so how do you become an asset to your job? Number 1.
Hard work.
Hard work. Got to work hard.
Amen.
Like I was telling you before, in the Bible, Jesus said, when you work unto men like you're working for God. So that means giving it 120%. Not 60 and 70 like you don't want to be there. You give it 120%. If you're giving it 60 and 70, when it's time to lay somebody off, you're going to be the first to go.
That's right.
You get it 120%, they're going to be like, man, we need to keep him. When they're looking for somebody to move up, to be a supervisor or manager, you're going to be the first thing.
Amen.
Because you're giving it all you got. You're going in. So hard work beats everything any day. Hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Sound like you're rapping.
Number 2 is be on
On time.
time.
Preaching.
Be on time. No employer.
Don't want about it.
That's right.
That's right. They don't want to see you. If you got to be there at 10 o'clock, they don't want to see you coming in at 10:05 or 10:01. Need to be there. 9:55, 9:50.
Yeah.
Being on time. That plays a part into a major part. So, and number 3, it's a good one. Stay off your
Don't say phone.
phone.
Don't say phone.
Work.
How many times you
Don't
have to
get
get
on
on
the
the
phone.
phone?
I'm telling you. That's gonna make somebody mad.
Just so.
You supposed to
Right
work,
now.
You standing there on your phone. Say that again.
I said right now.
That's right. So if you standing there on your phone and you supposed to be working, somebody gonna be mad.
That's right.
You might get fired.
That's right.
So it's a lot of consequences behind being on that phone. That phone getting a lot of us in trouble.
That's right.
Get your five.
Yo, get you fired. That's
I
right.
was on you had to let go.
That phone and get him.
Phone
Yeah,
get them every
true.
time. All right, number 4 is don't complain.
Mm-hmm.
Do the job. Do what you gotta do. All that complaining and whining, I don't think they like that either.
That's right.
And number 5 is no, you
Or drugs. Or alcohol.
are replaceable. Like it's a lot of people need jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So you're replaceable. So remember that you got you a job. It's a lot of people need it. I got my job. I'm happy I got a job. I got to do what I got to do. And I am replaceable, so knowing that, that should give you a little motivation to try to do what you gotta do to keep your job.
You got it.
Number 6. Adopt and confidence and positive attitude. Alright, so have a positive attitude on the job. It won't be that like my fiance, she be talking about this girl on the job, how she walk around there with an attitude, always complaining and stuff. She very negative on the job. Nobody don't want to hear that, man. On the job, you're supposed to be working, man. Have a positive attitude. You know, employers see that. You got a positive attitude, you're a nice person, you're a good person. Hey, that's gonna make you an asset too. All that's part of being an asset. Have a positive attitude. We got 2 more. Number 7.
Leave your problems at home.
Come on, Hug, keep doing the show.
When I miss it,
He might need to add to the list, Jones.
David, you got man to the list. Leave your problems at home.
treat others kind
Yeah.
with respect. Respect your fellow employees. And number 8, that's the last one,
Leave the phone at home.
is to be honest. Nobody like liars.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
Amen.
Yeah.
Don't steal,
Don't lie.
don't lie.
Don't let.
You'll be a person of value. So as I close up today, like I said, the theme was that if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah,
With God, all things are possible.
that's
You
right.
know that. So if I can do it, you can do it,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no excuses.
No excuse.
That's
That's
right.
my message for today.
Good.
I have my books right here from Prison to Power, right? And inside my book, basically what it is more of my going into my story of what I've been through and how God was able to use me and change my life and to put me where I'm at. Prison starts in your mind, like I said earlier, right? So we know what prison is. God allows us to have power over every aspect of our life. He gives us power.
Yeah.
So God works through me, and by Him working through me, it allows me to give other people power.
Yeah.
He works through me. So in this book is show all my mistakes. You learn from my mistakes. You may have you may want to take it for yourself. You may have a son or a nephew or a cousin that might want to read it and take my mistakes and learn from my mistakes and not do the things that I have done. So my mistakes will become their success. That's my time, and I thank y'all.